Alright, today we got a major issue with our distributor running really slow, getting lots of jams. I'm sure you can see as the pins are coming down the belts, they're moving way slower than anything normally would go. And I've diagnosed it, we checked it out, and we've got an issue over here. We got a lot of metal shavings down in here. If you look on the outside, our bearing assembly, probably can't tell it too well. Let me see if I can point it out. That powder at the top, that powder is some rust powder from the bearings themselves actually going out. So we're going to swap out this whole bearing assembly. See if I can get it to where you can see. That's all the rust coming from out of that bearing. Just totally shot. We're going to pause it, take it apart, get it out, put a new one in. First thing I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off these two screws right here. They remove with an 8mm drive socket. I'm going to go ahead and take that cover plate off and get to the wheel underneath. We're just going to lift this cover straight up and off. Get it out of our way. Now that I got the cover off, we're going to get some measurements here. Go ahead and bring you around this side. Now you can see where we're at. So you've got this bolt here that keeps the upward pressure against the belts on the wheel itself. I want to return this to the same height, so I'm going to go ahead and take a caliper. We're going to go ahead and measure the height off this plate to the top of that bearing assembly. Now we'll just set that caliper to the side so I won't knock it or mess up the measurements. I'm going to go ahead and remove the belt and get the belt off of this distributor motor. I'm going to pull it to the left side of your screen, just enough to get it off this big wheel. Get the belt out of the way. I'm going to use my split ring pliers. I'm going to go ahead and extract this split ring from here. I have to tap it back a little with the mallet. That wheel is tilted out and it's got so much pressure against that split ring. Alright, now we need to extract it. Just try first, see if it'll just pull off. Not so well, so I'm going to go ahead and use my puller. to watch out. There's some really thin washers on here. You want to pull those out and keep those. Alright, my next step is I'm going to go ahead and break these. You got so my next step is I got to remove these bolts here and loosen them as well as this one here to get it to drop down enough to where I want to just tip the head down, leave the wheel kind of on there just tilted enough down so I can get these belts off of this system. These are 17 millimeter nuts and bolt system as well. Be able to remove these bolts completely. So I put some gloves on. It's getting kind of dirty dealing with all this. So I tilted it down to give a little bit of lean on this to try and get these belts off. I'm just going to pull this wheel off. Watch out for any T-pins. And I'm sure as you can see maybe by the video, that's not supposed to be like that. It totally ate itself completely out. All around that shaft. Now go ahead and remove the last nut and bolt. Take out the whole bearing assembly. Go ahead and slide the new bearing assembly into place. Put that rear bolt back in. I can get to hold still. Just start enough to where it won't fall out or fall off, because you want to still be able to tilt it down enough to get it all back together again. So there's no play here now around this shaft. Go ahead and pulley wheel back in, lining up the notch in the wheel with the notch in this shaft. Tilt it back down. Make sure my belts didn't come off that lower wheel. first one back on. Make sure the other one's back on this wheel properly. Alright, now tip the second one on. Raise it up. The other bolt right back in. Go ahead and put that washer back on. Keep them separated. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten all these back down. Normally I use a socket, a ratchet, but it's just what I had on hand. Didn't really care to go to the tool room for more. Next thing I'm going to do while it's open, I'm going to go ahead and vacuum out all these shavings and dust. I just don't want any of my other associates to mistake something that's breaking down by whenever they see dust. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this all out of here, so at least it'll look decent for anybody else. And the only way it ever show up again is if the part actually collapsed again. Now that everything's all vacuumed out, I'm going to go ahead and put the pulley wheel back on. You got to watch for your key pin. Sometimes you can slide it right in, other times you may have to tap it in separate from the pulley wheel itself. But my slot is on the left side of this shaft, same as that's where my key pin is as well. I only had to tap it in far enough where I can get that split ring on it, but now I got to drive in my key pin. Time to install the split ring again. belt back on. Everything should be good, but I'm gonna run it one time with the cover off in case I have to double check something. I don't want to have to totally extract the cover to do that. I'm gonna turn it right back into diagnostic. We'll see if our pins seem to move a little faster across the table, or across the distributor, I should say. Everything seems fine on the distributor motor side of it. Yeah, everything seems to be moving a lot faster and more efficiently than it was before, so I think that was the whole deal, the bearing assembly. I also vacuumed out this cover plate to make sure that it would be clean in here as well. Just when installing it, watch there's two little welded catch screws on the bottom on both sides of this plate. They actually straddle the edge of this steel here of the frame. See if I can get it. And before I drive it down too tight, I want to make sure that my screw holes line up. And that is the bearing assembly.